Patriots win. This one was 38-10. Their 14th win of the season. They finished 14-3. Last year, 4-13. This year, good things happening for the Patriots. We're looking at a scoreboard, not trying to figure out who's going to get the number one pick in the draft, but this is about playoff seeding. And it looks like the Patriots are not going to finish with the number one seed. The Broncos in firm control against the LA Chargers, 19-3. So the Broncos will get the number one seed. The Patriots pretty much locking up the number two seed in the AFC. Buffalo winning, so they will not play the Patriots. They'll be the 6th seed. They'll take on Jacksonville. The 7th seed will be the LA Chargers. Get used to them. Get used to talking about them because they're going to be coming here. We'll figure out the details after Sunday Night Football. We'll figure out when the Patriots will play the Chargers. We got the whole crew here. We got Phil Perry. We got Tommy Curran. We got 3-time Super Bowl champion Ted Johnson. I'm Michael Holley. A lot to talk about. You want to talk about the game or you want to talk about big picture? Phil Perry, take it away.
I'll talk about the game first because I thought that second quarter was a disappointing one for New England. They started out gangbusters, especially offensively, and then the second quarter it was like they took one of those naps that Mike Vrabel hates so much. He's not a big fan of naps, and really, how dare he? Naps in general, a great thing. But for your football team, not so much, and that's what they had in the second quarter. And I said at that time, like, they got to do something here. This is a team they should beat and should beat handily, and they really should want that second seed. So they've got to do something to make sure they win this game. It's exactly what they did. They woke up, Tom Curran. They scored 21 points. They gave up 0 in that second half, a completely dominant effort in the third and fourth quarters, and they were able to get some of their most important players rest at the very end.
Going big picture, this Patriots team is second in the NFL in point differential behind the Seattle Seahawks, who had a 191 point differential. The Patriots were 170. The Rams are at 155. So when we talk about the Patriots and the schedule they played against, what did they do with the teams that were across from them? This is another good example. Patriots win by 28 points. So you can have the opportunity to say they didn't play anybody or their schedule was weak. But what the Patriots did in 2025, coming from 4-13, having a last place schedule, and then just eviscerating so many opponents, really speaks to how good the turnaround is and how actual it is, Ted.
I couldn't agree more. I'm going to go just about the game and the big picture real quick. In the game, they handled the distractions that they had all week. This is obviously, as far as just, a lot of going on this week and not much of it good. You wondered how the team was going to respond. The culture that's been set by Mike, we all kind of figured that they'd probably be okay, and they were. So it was a trying week, obviously, with all the news going out, but they went out there, and it didn't seem like that bothered them one bit. And then to Tom's point, 14 wins. This team went to, from 4 wins to 14 wins, a magical season for this team, and it'll be fun seeing how they do in the playoffs.
Yeah, how they do in the playoffs. And one of the things, Tom, you mentioned, I just want to come back to it, the point differential. Today they put 38 points on the Miami Dolphins, and I know it's the Dolphins, and how good are they? They don't have anything to play for. They fired their general manager, or mutual parting of the ways with the general manager, and we don't know if their head coach is coming back. But, Tom, this was a 17-10 game at halftime. It was competitive. As Phil said, the second quarter was disappointing. What did you see in the second half that really stood out to you? I'm sure there were a number of things, but what stood out to you?
Mostly run game, but I actually, on the field it's run game. But I again think that a lot of it has to do with coaching and the maturity of the coaching staff and the messages that they want to send. There has to be a way for Mike to get in the locker room and say, look, we got hosed a little bit on offensive pass interference. We had a blocked field goal. We still escaped with 3. Let's just take care of business. I don't imagine he is. Sure, he's a bit of a buffet table flipper, but I don't imagine he's throwing Gatorades around. Just saying, can we get our heads out of our posteriors and play in the second half? And then you give it over to your coordinators, who at that point say, let's do this, this, and this. And the second half, I thought, Teddy, you got something itching. Go ahead.
Man, I do. I'm sorry.
No. It's more important. You know what a locker room's like more than me.
Yeah, no, but you're right. I mean, that first half, it felt like they were sleepwalking a little bit, especially on defense, right? I mean, the offense was misfiring a little bit, but they come out in the third quarter, and defense intercepts the ball in the red zone, in the end zone, and then they go touchdown. boom, boom. In all of 11 plays, they go down and get 2 touchdowns. So they came out with a purpose to start that second half. So they enough to kind of screwing around there in the first half. Let's go take care of business there, and they did. So it feels like this team has this. When it's time to, get going and stop, messing around, that they figure things out. They can go out there and they can strike fast and make plays on both sides of the ball. The defense, again, with 2 turnovers in today's game.
The second half offensively, great drive starters on all 3 of those touchdown drives. Hunter Henry for 29 yards. Yeah. Hunter Henry for 16, Stephon Diggs for 34. Those are the first plays of those series that really got them started. And then I thought Rhamondre Stevenson today continued what has been maybe the best stretch of his career in terms of a 4 to 5 game stretch, really ever since he got back and was fully healthy after that foot injury that forced him to miss some time mid-season. He's been one of their best players. He's breaking tackles. He's catching the football down the field. He's able to do things as a receiver, as a running back, and a big back at that not many guys can do. So that sluggo that he ran for a touchdown,
never see that.
There's not many 230-pound running backs in the NFL that can run that kind of route and finish it like a receiver the way he did. So he has been tremendous, and I thought he was the star for them in the second half.
It's funny, you look back at Stevenson as a pass catcher. There was a season I think he had, was it 80 catches? He had a bunch in, I believe it was 2021.
Yeah, like 70, somewhere around there. Like
but the number of downfield catches, his ability as a downfield receiver is astounding. And Teddy, I want to ask you, just sticking on Stevenson, there's a million things to talk about, but how difficult was it as a linebacker to deal with a player who kind of comes to a stop and leverages forward and puts his ass back and uses you to push off and restart? It's a weird running style sometimes.
It is, but he's got that kind of that sidestep that is so powerful and so explosive. It doesn't look quite like Curtis Martin's, but it's the same idea where Curtis Martin could kind of chop his feet, stop, and then cut, and then just you think you got him, he's right there, and then he's gone. And that's Rhamondre Stevenson has that too. And he's a tough son of a gun when it comes to blitz pickup. He's very vital in those critical downs. Putting him in there, and he's stout. He will take up a hit when a linebacker is blitzing. And to Phil's point, to run a slug, like he was out wide. They never throw to the running back out wide, and he did a double move, and he was wide open. He made the defender. He didn't know which way was up. So. That's 2 weeks in a row where he's had long touchdown catches in the high red zone back-to-back weeks. So he's a threat in the passing game as well. So in both of these running backs, let's face it, they started out really slow. I mean, they were ranked both down at the bottom, and they're both in top 10 in a lot of the important metrics. So good for them. It looks like this offensive line's starting to figure it out. They're starting to get their mojo, and they're blocking a lot better. So, and the creativity in the running game, they do a lot of different things at you. Wide zone, power, inside. Heck, they had a wildcat that they threw in today. So they're doing a lot of different kind of interesting, creative stuff in the run game, which is great because it felt like they were very vanilla for most of the season.
And this may be a record. We've been on the air for 10 minutes, and we haven't talked about a guy. I'm just going to say what his nickname is. His nickname is Drake Maye. We haven't talked about Drake Maye, and I think as you start to think about the MVP conversation and Drake Maye versus Stafford had a big day today, but Maye once again, and I was saying to Curran during the game, just his operation in the pocket, his ability to play the position, his ability to think the position has improved exponentially this year. And if you've watched him all season, there's no question he's the MVP. I don't know if that matters to the Patriots right now, Phil, but if we're just saying MVP level back and forth between Stafford and Maye, I think the answer, the guy is Maye. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how the voters decide because I think Stafford's in the middle of a 4-touchdown game right now against the Arizona Cardinals. So if you're just looking at that touchdown interception ratio thing, Stafford might be your guy. I'm with you. I think Maye's the MVP, and I thought today he really showcased what he can do with his legs. There was not a lot of straight drop back, survey, ball out quickly, ball accurately in tight windows, but there was a lot of roll out. Am I going to run it? Am I not? Let me throw a short one to Hunter Henry here and let him run for 25 yards. Let me step up in the pocket and hit Stephon Diggs for 30-plus yards when the defense thinks that I'm starting to run. I thought he was, for the most part, outside of a slide late down by the goal line among some feet that looked a little dangerous with the game already in hand. I thought he was a smart runner, Tom, at the end of the first half. There was one where he just beelined it, went straight horizontal to the sideline to stop the clock. They're able to kick a field goal there. He got down in open space and was able to protect himself. It feels like he's improving in that aspect of his game in terms of making sure that he's available to the team moving forward while still using his legs.
Yeah, if you did cut-ups of both Matthew Stafford and Drake Maye, you would see two players playing absolutely elite football, but they look very different. You would see dozens of throws from Matt Stafford that come rifling off, unbelievable velocity and accuracy to great players. If you put in Drake Maye's cut up, you would see plays like the one we saw today, where he broke a tackle, stepped out of another, stiff-armed, had a completion. The Hunter Henry completion that Michael referenced, he's using his eyes to follow two crossers and then coming back to Henry, who was underneath, and allowing him to pick up yards. Throw back to Stephon Diggs, which at the time I was like, that doesn't look like a great idea, meaning the play against Buffalo when Diggs rerouted, caught the ball downfield. And I'm like, week 4 or 5, whenever that play was, I thought that was a play from a player who was playing like a squirrel. And now I realize that he's the smartest squirrel. He is not playing disorganized. So the cut-up will look very different, but the more breathtaking plays have been made by Drake Maye. Additionally, there's a lot of other arguments you could make for him if you wanted to do that.
It was a short little drive, but it was the drive right before halftime. I mean, the Patriots have the ball probably on their own, I think, 32-yard line, something like that, with 29 seconds. He gets a nice little out pass for like 15 yards over there to on the sideline. And then he on the next play he scrambles for a first down. And every time he scrambles, he only has 5 rushes for 41 yards. But I think probably 3 of them went for first down. So he extends drives with his feet, and he does it in a way in which you feel okay about it. The one down by the goal line, notwithstanding, though, Phil. And then he had it down to waste, and he knew that he just had to throw the ball to stop the clock so that they could run another play. He just seems to make the right decisions in those critical moments, and that to me was always what made Brady stand out, at least early in his career, is how smart they are in that 2-minute operation. And Drake Maye certainly seems to be smart like Tom in that situation, which I would be terrified to have to be in charge of the offense in that situation. But he just seems to make all the right decisions right now, Michael.
And just to get back to the MVP race really quickly, we're going to see highlights from Matthew Stafford's day today, and he had another, at least one, maybe more, very short, wide open touchdown throw. And I like the fact that the Patriots didn't try to pad Drake Maye's stats today, because how many times were they down by the goal line? And they're doing anything but putting it in Drake Maye's hand. They used the Wildcat, and he's out at the sideline. He's practically not even on the field, and they're letting Rhamondre Stevenson run in. They're letting Travion Henderson run in, because they should have been running the ball today. They could run it, it felt like, whenever they wanted. So why throw the ball when you get down by the goal line, other than to try to get your quarterback the MVP? I like that they weren't seemingly focused on that today when they could have been, right? To me, that's focused on the wrong things. Do what you're supposed to do in those situations when you're supposed to do them. Win the game handily. That's what they did today. I like the way they handled Maye, even though he's in the middle of this MVP race.
Yeah, it continued to improve as a red zone offense, which was so bad for so long, and now over the last 2 or 3 weeks has been so much better and more organized. Just to come full circle on Maye in a conversation we had all offseason, comparing him to Josh Allen, when you look at Maye as a wild stallion quarterback, and Allen was probably bigger, stronger, faster, but Maye is 20 or 30 or 40% more controlled and better able to do things on the move than Josh Allen was in year 2 and in year 3.
It's not even close, in my opinion. I mean, Josh is more frenetic than I've seen him, in a long time. I mean, he was kind of that way early in his career, and just made some really bad decisions, and then he worked through it, and he kind of fixed a lot of those problems, but he's kind of reverted back to that. Drake Maye is just smooth. When he does leave the pocket, there's no frenetic energy in his motion. Very smooth, very athletic, very skilled. He's a fun guy to watch play, man.
He's a fun guy to watch. And right now, Matthew Stafford, though, is the favorite to win MVP. He's the favorite after his day-to-day. Drake Maye is second. We'll see what happens.
Presented by Gem Plumbing and Heating. For an instant reaction to your heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing needs, visit AskGem.com.